Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping interacted briefly ahead of a news conference by leaders of the BRICS grouping in Johannesburg on Thursday. Modi and Xi are in the South African city of Johannesburg to attend the annual summit of BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Video footage aired by a South African broadcaster showed Modi and Xi having a brief exchange. There were no official comment on the exchange by either side. Ahead of the start of the BRICS Summit, there was a speculation about the possibility of a bilateral meeting between Modi and Xi in Johannesburg. This was the first time that the two leaders interacted in public since their brief interaction during last year's G20 summit in Bali. Modi and Xi had met briefly at a formal dinner hosted by Indonesian President Joko Widodo on November 16, 2022. At that time, the Indian side had categorized the interaction as merely an exchange of courtesies. But after China's foreign ministry contended in July that Modi and Xi had reached an important consensus on stabilizing China-India relations during the Bali interaction, the External Affairs Ministry said that the leaders had discussed the need to stabilize bilateral ties. Modi is travelling to Greece on Thursday evening after concluding his engagements in the South African city. The Prime Minister and the Chinese President had a brief encounter at a dinner during the G20 summit in Bali in November last year. The ties between India and China came under severe strain following the Eastern Ladakh border row that began in May 2020. Indian and Chinese troops are locked in an over 3-year standoff in certain friction points in Eastern Ladakh, even as the two sides completed disengagement from several areas following extensive diplomatic and military talks. India and China held the 19th round of Corps Commander level talks on August 13 and 14 with a focus on resolving pending issues at the standoff areas of Depsang and Demchok in Eastern Ladakh. A joint statement described the talks as positive, constructive and in-depth, and that both sides agreed to resolve the remaining issues in an expeditious manner. Days after the fresh round of high-level talks, the local commanders of the two militaries held a series of negotiations in two separate locations to resolve issues in Depsang Plains and Demchok. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi on the sidelines of multilateral meetings in July and discussed the border standoff.